Here's more wrestling news for December 18th, 2022, and we're starting off with Gunther, who has been a dominant force since coming to the main roster earlier this year. Ricochet, Sheamus, and Rey Mysterio have all fallen to the mighty Austrian, but the Intercontinental Champion recently had a phenomenal adversary. At a WWE live event, Gunther defended his WWE Intercontinental title against AJ Styles after the leader of Imperium put out an open challenge. Styles not only faced Gunther, but got the win, though since it was via a DQ, the Intercontinental title did not change hands. On Twitter, fans at the event shared their excitement, saying it was an amazing match and one that needs to be turned into a TV feud straight away. Right now, Gunther and Styles are on different brands and in much different feuds, but perhaps the stars will align and lead to a TV feud between the two in 2023. We're looking ahead to WrestleMania 39 now, which is practically guaranteed to involve Roman Reigns. The Tribal Chief will likely be headlining the Showcase of the Immortals for what will be the 7th time of his career, but the big question is, who will he face? Well, when Ringside News asked around, they were told nothing is set in stone just yet. A source explained that while WWE has a strong idea for who he'll face, they have an alternative match just in case plans fall through. The two matches rumored for Reigns is either against Cody Rhodes or The Rock, but it's been reported that Reigns will only wrestle one time at next April's event. There's no doubt that Reigns will be on the card, but there's big questions about his match and who would you put against the head of the table next year. In September, Saraya made her debut for AEW at the Grand Slam edition of Dynamite, mere months after her WWE contract expired. Between her contract expiring and her AEW debut, WWE's new regime did make a play to try and rehire her, and while that didn't happen, the British star is liking what she's seeing from Triple H. During an interview with Forbes, Saraya addressed WWE's new post-Vince McMahon regime, saying a lot has changed in a relatively little amount of time. McMahon's only been gone for a couple of months. I feel like WWE's doing a really great job with Hunter in charge, and I feel like everybody backstage is very happy from what people have been telling me. People across the board are just happy, not saying that they won't be if Vince comes back, but I felt this breather was needed to really shake things up over there and get people excited. But if he comes back, is he going to undo everything Hunter has done? That's the question. You just don't know what's going to happen. I don't work there anymore, so I don't have to worry about it. I have Tony, and he's fantastic as a boss to me. So if I have any issues, I can tell him, and he'll always be very clear with stuff. Whereas I just get nervous if Vince comes back for them because then you just don't know what he's thinking on a day-to-day basis. Saraya is against the idea of Vince returning, as is seemingly everyone in wrestling not named Vince McMahon. But even if he does come back, Saraya will be safe and far away in AEW. In October, it was announced that AEW's Athena was going to face Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling star Miyu Yamashita in a high-profile match in the new year. Since then, Athena has captured the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, and the stakes have been raised for their bout. In an update, Prestige Wrestling announced that this match will be a title match and take place at their Glass House event on January 21st in Pomona, California. While Athena holds the title, Yamashita is no slouch, becoming the first Tokyo Joshi Princess of Princesses champion in 2016. A former Shine champion and 3-time DDT Ironman heavy metal champion, Yamashita is no stranger to gold and hopes to add the Ring of Honor Women's World title to her collection next month. Since debuting in WWE over 15 years ago, Dolph Ziggler has had plenty of looks over his career. From a golf caddy to a male cheerleader to his awkward brown hair phase, Dolph has never shied away from trying out new looks, but you won't ever see him in leopard print. Speaking during an appearance with B-Sox, Ziggler recalled his love of leopard print, but said he's only ever had the chance to use it once on TV. I loved it and I had a great time, and I got to wrestle John Morrison, one of my best friends, and we had such a blast beating the hell out of each other, and I came to the back and, in some words I can't repeat, I was told that this would never be worn again. Great match, don't ever do that again. Okay, I got it, thank you. Dolph didn't explain why exactly WWE banned his use from leopard print, but Ziggler wasn't in a position to refuse such a direct request from management. Whenever you see Dolph these days, odds are he's had some say in his outfit, but don't expect leopard print from the former NXT champion. Now, for years, Seth Rollins worked for Vince McMahon, and the pair did not always enjoy the best of relationships. While it was under McMahon that Rollins won Money in the Bank, several world titles, and headlined WrestleMania, there was a time when things got so bad he wanted to walk out. During an episode of the Edge and Christian podcast, Rollins explained that for the June 20th, 2014 SmackDown, he had a match with Kofi Kingston that he believed had gone well. When he got to the back though, an irate McMahon yelled at him, believing Kofi was allowed too much offense, and demanded the match be retaped, which infuriated the architect. They ended up making me and Kofi have to go back out and redo the match, and I remember the feeling when they told me that. I was so angry and embarrassed and just ready to walk out and not do it because I was like, never in my life. Never should this happen to me. But it was such a learning experience in retrospect that it's okay to screw up sometimes. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed and Rollins ended up retaping the 3-minute match, and it goes to show that everybody had to answer to the boss. Now, Snoop Dogg is a name that is known around the world and has made a splash in the world of professional wrestling. It was at the WrestleMania 39 ticket launch party earlier this year that Snoop was awarded a custom gold WWE Championship by Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch, but that title has now been stolen. On Twitter, WWE informed fans about the missing title belt, which was grabbed while Snoop was on tour, and encouraged fans to reach out if anyone sees it. Hopefully, the title is found soon enough, as Snoop will no doubt be wanting it back, and will keep on the hunt for updates in the case of the missing title. For years, WWE's treatment of women wasn't exactly respectful, as the divas of the time had to do things that you'd never expect to see from the men. In 1999, after a brief stint in ECW, Lita joined the WWF, and while she was always seen as different to the buxom blondes of the time, she was treated very similar. In her book, Lita, A Less Traveled Road, The Reality of Amy Dumas, Lita spoke about once having to do a photo shoot in Times Square that made her very uncomfortable. The shoot was a very weird experience. There I was in the middle of freaking Times Square, wearing practically nothing, with all these fans standing around hooting and hollering. At first I tried to play it cool, chatting with the fans, but as the day went on, I began feeling awkward and uncomfortable. I had to act like there was nothing wrong. I don't mind posing in a studio environment, but it really sucked doing it out in the street with an audience watching. This wouldn't even be the worst of it in Lita's career, as she would also suffer through the awful 2004 miscarriage angle and have her real-life relationship issues with Matt Hardy and Edge made into a storyline. Thankfully, WWE shows much more care and respect to the women these days, but it's telling that someone now as respected as Lita once had to go through some very degrading acts. And we're ending today with Cody Rhodes, who since June has been out of action with a torn pectoral muscle suffered hours before the WWE Hell in a Cell Premium Live event. The American Nightmare fought through the pain to defeat Seth Rollins in their third PLE match, but the feud isn't over just yet. On the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer reports that fans can expect Rhodes and Rollins to reignite their feud relatively soon. At the time of his injury, WWE reported that Cody would be out for 9 months, but the former AEW TNT champion is being considered a favorite to win next month's Men's Royal Rumble match. Rhodes is also one of the names rumored to dethrone Roman Reigns, as the pursuit of the WWE Championship is why he returned to the company in the first place. There's a lot of big plans rumored for Cody Rhodes, but the American Nightmare's road to WrestleMania will run through Seth Rollins very soon. That's our news for today, guys. Please watch our previous video, 15 WWE wrestlers who passed away in 2022.